Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for joining us again. Damo. I'm good, thanks, mate. How you doing?
Good, mate. Good. So, from your video this morning, what are you appreciative of?
Mate, right now, personally, I'm appreciative of my health. We've had a bit of a I don't know, something's happened in the Tanti household this afternoon. My poor wife, shout out to Michelle, love you, darling. She's usually sitting right here next to me, or hang on, over there next to me. She's actually done herself a bit of a mischief, and she's broken a foot. So she's laid up in bed tonight in a moon boot. So, big shout out to you, darling. Love you very much. Hope that you're not in too much pain. I hope you can recover quick. And yeah, just sucky time for Mother's Day, you know what I mean? But that's life, isn't it, Damo?
It sure is, mate. Sure is.
Mate. What about you, mate? What are you grateful for?
Well, I felt the baby kick today.
Oh, how good was that?
So that's a big plus for me. I'm happy that she's healthy and everything like that. So big thumbs up for that one.
Fantastic, mate. So happy for you. That feeling. There's nothing like that, eh? That first kick, that first feeling. That's so good, isn't it? That's awesome. I'm so happy for you, bud. It's so good. All right, guys. So as I've said tonight, I'll just quickly go through the numbers. As you can see, we're using new software tonight, so hopefully it's all coming through nice and clear. And if it isn't, hey, Jason said hello. Hang on, look, I'm going to show you guys a new feature of this new software. There it is. Jason Formosa says, good evening all. How are you? How you doing, champion? Thanks for joining, mate. Love the fact that you're here with us every week, Jason. Really appreciate it, buddy. That's awesome. Oh, hang on, we've got another one now. The Wounded Warrior.
Thanks, Michelle. I hope you're doing all right now. I hope you're doing well.
I'm sure she's on a few painkillers at the moment, so she's pretty happy at the moment. So that's good. That's a good thing. Not in too much pain. Lisa, hey Lisa. Lisa's joined in to say hi. Hey Lisa, how you doing? Who else we got? We got Pete. Pete said, "Evening, boys. Good evening, son. How are you going? Hope you're doing well, Pete." So yeah, guys, we've got these numbers flying across the bottom down here. You've got your lifeline numbers, that very important number for anyone who's struggling, thinking about those permanent decisions for a temporary feeling. And if you just feeling down and out and think there's no way out, trust me, there is. Just reach out, and there is help. There's always help. Okay, there's many options that there are people out there to help you. So, and again, you've got the text line number as well that's going down the bottom there. If you're not feeling up to sort of talking, got a bit of that anxiety of talking to people, that text line number down the bottom there, please hit them up. The hours, I should know this off by heart by now, 6 p.m. till midnight every night. So don't forget, just text. Even if it gets to 12:30, still send that text through. Someone will get back to you. What else have we got? We've got the suicide hotline again, the suicide callback service. What else is going down the bottom there? I'm loving this that's going down the bottom here. And look, I'm running solo tonight. I haven't got my tech support with me, so it's all on me. So if things go a bit of awry,
don't touch it. Don't do anything, because you'll kill the whole stream and we'll be out.
Touch wood. She was brave enough to come in here and give me a quick tutorial. So I can change banners even. Here we go. Look, watch this one. Oh.
We can't see anything.
What do you mean you can't see anything?
Down the bottom. You can't see things? You can't see things.
Moving down the bottom. You can't see the banners moving down the bottom?
Yeah, we can see the banners moving down the bottom. Did they change? Yeah,
look, I haven't brought up the what did we do last week? The PowerPoint slides. Going to give that a miss. I'm just going to keep putting that on my page every week, because I haven't, come on, man. that's too hard for me, mate. Too hard. So I figured we've got it going down the bottom here as well. So, again, so guys, these numbers are going to be going through the whole night. So please check them out. Again, just reach out if you are struggling, okay, in any sort of way. If kids are struggling, your teenagers are struggling, anyone sort of struggling in any sort of way. The reason I put these numbers here is for you guys to let you know that there is so much help out there, okay? So, yeah, please don't suffer in silence. Don't sit there and, sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I keep seeing, hi, Tracy Roach. How you going? You're a new viewer. Thank you very much for joining. Happy Friday to you too, Tracy. Mary Ann joined us. How you going, Mary Ann? How you doing? Jason's just said, yes, we can. So thanks, Jace. Thanks, mate. Damian got me all flustered there, or you could probably see my eyes go, what do you mean? What do you mean it's not working? Yeah, Lisa, yes, the services have changed a little bit. They're going down the bottom here now. So I'm going to put that PowerPoint slide up every week on my page. So we'll have that up there. And they're a bit out of order to the way I usually do them. But, that was just, it's good enough. Eh? They're still, at least they're all still there. So anyway, guys, as promised during the week, we have a very special guest tonight. Friend of mine from way back. One of the best psychologists. I'm so excited to have her on tonight. I can't thank her enough for coming on and giving some time to me and to you guys. So again, if you've got any questions, we are going to talk about depression tonight. And if you've got any questions, please send them through. I'll keep trying to. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be looking at the camera. I'm going to be trying to keep up to date with all these questions. If I see a really, really good one, I'll put it up there on the page. Anyway, I'm going to stop jabbering and I'm going to bring in our special guest. So if everyone to say a warm welcome to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
We're great. Thank you very much. And once again, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
That's all right. It's a lovely thing that you're doing, actually. So I'm more than happy to jump on and have a chat. Thanks for having me.
Anytime you'd like to come on, we'd love to have you. So, guys.
And I hope, Michelle, I hope that you're feeling okay. Rest up. Oh,
yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, as I say, usually every week she's sitting. I've got to get used to where my finger's going. Over here, she's usually sitting next to me and sort of helping me do this. As you can see, it's a bit rough tonight. It usually runs a little bit smoother.
You're doing fine. This is a really good platform, actually. I've written it down.
It is. I actually, funnily enough, got this off the idea of Sushi Mango. Those boys were playing with Sushi Mango. Those three ethnic boys that sort of like the new boys.
You've got to watch them.
I'll have to write that down too now.
You're going to have to, seriously, if you want to get into everybody, not just Michelle, anyone. If you want to laugh really, really hard.
Kind of weird. Sushi Mango.
Please check them out. Sushi Mango, they're on every platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
You know what we'll do? We'll throw up some videos on the Facebook page just so everybody can see them.
Done. Doing it.
Yeah, do that.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
Now that you said that, I'll probably over flood it now, but anyway, I'll try and hold that. my own personal page, that's basically all I post now, which is Sushi Mango stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I like a good laugh. Actually, one of the companies I worked for yesterday, which was a really nice change, I kept getting all these emails, and all the consultants were sending through dad jokes for the day. So every now and then I'd get an email with a dad joke. It was cool. It was nice.
That's awesome. Sweet. That's just reminded me, actually. I'm just going to change the banners to all your stuff. Hang on.
No worries. Yeah.
See that? All the banners are still going, but your stuff now is on the bottom there. So if you want to get in contact with Michelle in any way, there's her information there.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Get back to the comments here. So yeah, depression.
Yes. So what have you guys chatted about so far with depression? Have you had what are some of the common themes? Any common questions around that you've come across? Or is it mostly around high risk and suicide and things like that?
We've had a bit of a discussion about suicide, but mostly the things that we've covered is most of it is anxiety and headspace.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So,
yep. Good. Okay.
We've only really covered the surface. We haven't dived deep into it yet.
Into depression. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess, so normally when I work with patients, and generally the demographic in the presentation is often depression and anxiety, and there's different things that can cause depression and anxiety. So there's things like grief or sudden change. So adjustment disorder is a really common disorder that's diagnosed, and we might say something like adjustment disorder with depression, or adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depression, which is very common. So, and what that means really is that there's been a sudden change in that person's life, a sudden large adjustment that might be work related or personally related, and it has exacerbated or precipitated some negative symptoms like depression and anxiety. And what I like to do with my clients first off is really just provide a lot of what we call psychoeducation, which is really what you're doing every Friday, is providing information and education about what these disorders are, and also normalizing them for people. Because when people are feeling depressed, they feel like they're the only ones feeling like that. And that they might be a bit weird, or everyone's noticing that they're not well, and something's not quite right, and they just don't feel they feel alone often. So the first steps for me are usually around psychoeducation. What is depression? What does it look like? So that we can make people understand that actually it's really very common and very, very normal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, that's what I try to get across, that it's any sort of mental health condition, it doesn't define you. You know what I mean? It's just a fraction of who you are, basically. Yeah. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be, oh God, and why me? It's one of those things that a lot of people deal with.
And actually, when it comes to depression, I think some of the stats out there, some of the older stats that I have delivered when doing some training to corporations and businesses, is 1 in every 4 people will experience a mental health disorder in their lifetime. It's actually more like 2 out of every 4, so 50% of the population. So it's really, really common. And you made a really good point just about labeling and defining of who you are. Yeah. I mentioned a diagnosis before because it's very common, but I really try and steer clear of diagnoses. I'll only provide them if I'm working in the legal context or in the insurance context because they require it. But we're not dealing with a label here. We're dealing with feelings. Yeah. So how do we manage that?
With an actual human being, not someone that you can just label, something that you can push off to the side with a label.
Yeah. And look, I think that some people benefit from labels sometimes. For example, I find that clients who've been suffering from social anxiety for a really long time haven't been able to work out what's been going on with them. And when they've been able to get that label, then they've been able to do some more refined research on the condition. So it's made them feel really good. They've gone, oh, I finally know what's going on now for me. But in most circumstances, we're not treating the label, we're treating the symptoms. So, that's right. We don't want to be hung up on labels. So,
Instead of a label, would you call it more of a description or a clarification of what the person is dealing with?
Yeah, and it's all really unique, right? So we all experience different feelings and different thoughts at different times. And what you're managing is the symptoms. You're not managing the condition. Yeah. You're managing the symptoms associated with the condition. So, and there's very common symptoms that are associated with depression that all of us will, most of us will feel, but others might have really unique symptoms that are unique to them because of their situation. So.
Well, everybody is different. They deal with it their own way, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. And, there's a lot that plays its part in that, right? It's like personality and circumstances and resilience, and how they've. I actually work a lot with different types of treatment. So I use CBT, which is a really common form of psychological therapy. It's a form of therapy. It's cognitive behavioural therapy. I use acceptance and commitment therapy, which I really like. And I also use a lot of schema therapy, and that looks at how we develop views of the world from childhood and bring them into adulthood. And it talks a lot about attachment. So, you know, in childhood, if there's inadequate attachment to attachment figures, if there's inadequate attachment figures in their life, then that can impact resilience and then expose you to depression later on in life as well. So,
me and Ryan are well versed in that one, I believe.
Yeah.
Extremely, yeah. That's really interesting. Actually, I've actually just, with my TAFE studies, I actually just started learning about CBT. It's got some great benefits to it, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. But I find that it's limited. So it's really good, and I find it really good for the beginning stages. But you know, as you work through the first bits with CBT, it's really nice then to move on to other modalities that tend to extend on CBT. So
we've got a bit of a question here.
Yeah, great question.
Peter, yeah, so I'll read it. Don't bother reading it. Everyone can read it there.
Yeah. So, yeah. See, one thing I'll say, Pete, it's very hard to look for something in depression because people can hide it very well.
Yeah.
And some people are experts at hiding it. I mean, look, I'm no expert at all whatsoever. But, Michelle, what do you reckon?
Oh, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. So, and we call them masking signs. Some people are really good at masking their symptoms. And some of the common masking signs might be things like smiling when they actually aren't happy, and maybe someone who's normally pretty steady and maybe not so extroverted suddenly becomes the life of the party. That can be what we call a masking sign as well, you know, to try and distract from the fact that they're not coping. Yeah. I think a lot of us do that, right? I think a lot of us do that because we don't want. I mean, when you're depressed, the last thing you want is attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look, Peter. This is a really common thing. I do a lot of workshops in corporations on how to have a conversation, and so we go through the "Are you okay?" Structure when it comes to having a conversation with someone. You know, how to be supportive. One of the most important slides that I deliver in that training is, you know, what is your role and what isn't your role? And your role as a friend or a colleague or a family member is not to fix anything for them. You can't do that. That's not your job, you know, or to prevent an escalation of mental health or, an escalation of risk. Your job purely is to listen and to be there for that person if they need you, and refer on if they need you. Yeah. Because often you're not going to know if they're okay, unfortunately.
That's it. I love that answer. And that's it, exactly. Like, it's, you know, it's not everyone's responsibility to sort of, you know, we can't all save the world, you know, and the ones that we can save, yeah, we can help and sort of help move on to give them, you know, that's why these numbers are coming down across the bottom here. And, you know, there are people out there that can help, but, you know, a lot of people do, like Pete, I know Pete, and he would be still affected by that, taking on that, you know, what could I have done? You know, what should I have done more? You know, could I have done more? Those sorts of questions, you know. It's just.
I think moving. I like, you know, even for the next time, and it's a really good question, Peter. What could we look out for? Maybe that might be an indicator that someone's not coping. And some of those early warning signs I like to break them up. So maybe we can just go through that together. So maybe what do you think are the physical early warning signs that someone's not coping, do you think?
Well, it's been in the comments are further down. Things I've noticed Michelle's put up one. People
I'll put that one up.
Very quiet and have personality changes. I've also noticed
great.
Lisa has put on ones people like to, well, she's talking about herself, I assume. They go quiet and almost retreat into a safe zone.
They get withdrawn, yep. And I'd stick that under the behavioural category. So what are some of the behaviours that change? Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it may sound a little bit silly, but I do know people who go into what you would call almost a form of self-harming, where they depression eat.
Where they what, sorry?
Depression eat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'd put that in the physical, actually. So if we start with the physical, what are the early warning signs? What would you observe? What would you see that might be an indication that someone's not coping? Sometimes overeating.
Yeah, definitely.
What they're eating. You know, they might start to go for high carb fatty food. And then for some people, it's the other way. It's eating less. You know, they're not eating at all, you know, so one way or the other. What else do you think physically might be an early warning sign? Do you think? Like what you see? What would you notice?
A change in someone's personality?
Yeah. And also things like they might be looking really tired and dishevelled when they normally are, you know, well kept.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, give them a break, right? If they've gone out on a bender on the weekend, they're allowed to look tired on Monday. But you know,
put that one in the category of hangover depression.
Correct. Yes, which doesn't last as long as depression, so we're doing okay. Yeah, so you know, looking maybe skin problems as well, maybe being sick a lot, that can be an early sign that someone's not coping too well. And you mentioned personality, being withdrawn. What else do you think behaviourally? What part of their behaviour might indicate that they're not coping too well?
I'd say maybe a bit of frustration, like easily frustrated.
Yeah.
Anger.
Yes, frustrated, irritable, and Lisa's put up there not sleeping. Exactly. Yeah, I'm writing this down so I remember. And then what about their moods?
Yeah, Lisa just put up another one saying angry. So unwarranted aggression, I say, would be one definitely.
So angry, snappy, yeah, aggressive. What other moods do you think? I mean, we know depressed. What else? What are other moods?
Well, it would all fall towards the negative ones, I'm assuming. I mean, you wouldn't have somebody, but then again, unless you have somebody who wants to fake it more than anything and just puts on a happy face.
Yeah, so then there's the masking. Yeah, those masking signs. Yeah. And then the thoughts, and this is the really important part that I work with, low energy, loss of joy in everyday life, absolutely. So really motivation really decreases. We're not really engaging in much. Impulsivity, so doing things off the cuff, really not thinking about what they're doing.
Another one here.
Anne-Marie, that's a good one. Taking unnecessary risks or noticing changes too. Like, I mean, things that a normal, say, an introvert would not do.
Yes.
Or on the other,
not their normal self.
Yeah, and not their normal self. Say an extrovert would want to stay home, for example, which is out of normal behaviour completely. Yeah.
So the thought ones, for me, are the ones that I work on the most. Yeah, and they might not necessarily tell you what they're thinking, but you're going to get an idea by how they're talking. So what do you think the thoughts are that's going through their heads?
I feel like I'm in session and you should be being paid for this.
I've got to say, I am sitting here just loving this. I'm sorry if I'm not contributing, but I'm loving it and I'm just trying to find the best comment to put up. But yeah, this is awesome, guys. Sorry.
So, you know what you do,
I think it's really good rather than me
can't
talking
see
at
you
you. It's
anymore.
good to get you guys going.
We'll get rid of you, and me and Michelle will talk for the rest of the night. It's all right.
Go for it. I'll just keep chucking these good ones up for you, all right?
Peter's a good one up there too.
So what do you think? What do you think of the thoughts? What do you think are the thoughts that are going through people's heads that might be an indication that they're not coping too well?
I can only give you my personal experiences, and you pretty much got them all down there on paper. I know when I'm feeling in a bit of a mood, I go quiet. I start to get restless, uncomfortable. What do you say to yourself?
What do you say to yourself?
I try to work out what's wrong, and I can never really put my finger on it. But like today, for example, I've been at home for the last couple of days because I hurt my back at work. And today, for example, I was walking around the house looking for something to do because I didn't want to do anything necessarily, but I had nothing to do. So that was driving me into a point where I wasn't, pardon the words, but for lack of a better word, annoying the shit out of my wife because I had nothing to do.
Yeah. So tell me, because this is the most important data. Tell me what you were thinking.
It's
This is the hard bit.
It's before 9 o'clock. Remember, Nate, it's before 9 o'clock.
Peter wrote something like, Peter wrote black thoughts, absolutely. And Lisa's written, there's not good enough, like I'm not good enough, that's not good enough. That's very common with the thoughts.
Yeah. See, as I said, I can only tell you from my personal experience, but I didn't have that thought. I just kind of felt out of place.
Frustrated.
Out of place would be the word, and nothing to do. Like I got millions of things to do, and Ryan knows what I like to do in my spare time. But I just felt out of place. Didn't have a place at home. There was something else that I had to do, and it wasn't that. That's where it got to. And then I started thinking about tonight and talking to you and everything like that, and it got my mind off it. So I kind of went from having nothing to do to having a thought process to fall back on.
Yeah. And that's really, we get uncomfortable when we're not in control, right?
Me especially. I'll put my hand up for that one big time.
And a few people have written here, I'm not good enough. Why am I here? Everyone's judging me. No one wants me. Yeah, no one would even miss me. And this is where we start moving into some of what we call the hook. Yeah. When someone might say to you, I just don't want to be here anymore. Yeah. And that's your opportunity to say, when you say you don't want to be here, are you talking about suicide? You need to be really overt and direct, because you don't want to miss that opportunity with a hook like that. No one would even miss me. Yeah. They might say, oh gosh, no, I'm just saying I just don't want to be in the office today. Yeah, great. Awesome. But what happens if that wasn't the case? So you really do need to start, digging a little deeper when those thoughts are coming out. Yeah.
Okay, so question for you then, right? So you've mentioned a few of the triggers or the things to look for. When you do find a hook like that, what's the next step? What's the next step, the process that you go forward, being a friend, a workmate, a close relative, something like that? How far do you recommend to take it? So 2 questions in that one question.
Okay. So if we really keep in mind what your role is when it comes to having this are you okay conversation, yeah? Your role is not to fix anything. It's not to problem solve. It's not to find solutions for that person. As much as we're human beings, right? And especially if we're emotionally invested in that person, we want to fix things for them. We don't want them to feel like this anymore. But it's not our role to prevent an escalation of risk. Yeah. Our role is purely to look out for the early warning signs and initiate a conversation. Yeah. So and Peter, I saw that, and that's such a shame. But you won't be the only person who missed that. And they may not have been an overt hook. It may have just been, comment that was made on a regular basis that was very similar over a period of time. There would have been other people in that person's life, unfortunately, that also felt like that they had missed that. So, yeah.
So what
you have a conversation, right? Bearing in mind what your roles and responsibilities are. So your role is to listen and initiate a conversation, but the first thing is to think about timing and location. Yeah, like if Rosie, let's call her Rosie, because I always use Rosie as the name. I don't know why. If Rosie exhibited all these early warning signs that she wasn't coping, and it doesn't take much, 2 or 3 early warning signs that have been going on for about a week, and you kind of go, okay, this has been going on for about 5 days. I'm going to have a chat to her and just see if she's okay. If you went up to her in an open plan office or in front of 10 of your friends and said, hey, Rosie, you've been looking really tired. Are you okay? Do you reckon Rosie's going to talk to you?
No, not at all.
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
we want to really think about,
So, okay, you initiate the conversation in a suitable environment. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So people can understand, what does that conversation involve, apart from the obvious, are you okay?
So I know that it's called Are You Okay Day. I actually don't like the question, are you okay? Because it's a closed question. It's not an open question.
Yeah.
It's too easy for people to answer yes or no.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Yeah. So we want to use a question that's open to try and pull out a little bit more information. Something like, hey, I've noticed that you haven't been your normal chirpy self lately. You want to be really careful because they're probably feeling a little bit insecure, right? So we want to be tactful with how we approach the evidence. We don't want to say, you're looking like crap. Are you okay? So, so be really tactful. Hey, you normally smile in the mornings. You haven't been smiling a lot lately. I'm concerned about you. How are you traveling? That's not a yes or no question. And they might go, oh, yeah, okay. And then you can use that and go, what do you mean by okay? What's been going on? Yeah, and we're trying to probe. Yeah, yes. Poke.
Yeah. Give me more. Yeah.
I think a lot of the common concerns I have from people when I'm going through this, conversation kind of structure, most of the concerns I get from people is, yeah, but what happens if they say, I'm okay, but I know that they're not okay?
Yeah,
that's very common.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You've got to be really careful not to push boundaries. Asking them, are you okay? And in a safe, confidential environment, they might say, I'm fine at that time, but you've let them know that you want to listen, you're there for them. And it might just mean that right now they're not willing to talk, but they know. They might go away later and go, oh, actually, Ryan actually is concerned and maybe I can talk to him about this and I will go back and speak to him maybe another time, or kind of letting them know that there's options as well.
So
and then the other concern, go.
You're planting the seed in their mind to let them know that if they do want to have a chat or if they do want to talk, as you said, Ryan is there to talk, or Damian's there to talk, or Michelle's there to talk. Yeah.
I think just gentle probing is important, but respecting the fact that maybe they just want to talk about it right now. That the fact that you've noticed the signs, you've had a conversation, that's the limit to your responsibility, right? You can't make someone talk to you.
That's it, exactly. It's you can only do so much. You can constantly put your hand out and just continuously let them know, when you're ready, I'm here. I'm here to listen to. Okay, I might not be able to solve all your problems, but
yeah,
I'm here to listen to them. And that just takes the burden off people as well. But I mean, most people that are suffering, I mean, of course, we all want to feel better. But most of the time, it's people just want to be, or from my point of view, I just wanted to be heard. I just wanted someone just to listen to my story. I didn't expect them to go, well, this is what you do. If you don't want to feel like this is what you do. You do this and this, this and this and this.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that.
You don't want that.
No,
you don't
just
want that.
All I want you to do is
that just empowers you.
That's it, exactly. That the whole point of trying to help someone is to empower them to be able to help themselves.
Yeah. Look, I think that lived experience and what you're doing now is exactly that. You're going, hey, I've been through this. I know what it's like, and that's okay. A little bit of self-disclosure is okay. What you don't want to do is go, oh, yeah, I had depression. This is what happened when I had depression. And then the focus is gone. You know?
Exactly.
Then you turn the focus around. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So, Brian, can you just go back up to Peter's comment?
This one? Yep.
Yeah, this one. Look, I completely 100% agree with this. It should be available for all forms of work sites. Whether it be blue collar, white collar, anybody. It doesn't matter. And unfortunately, it's not. Now, a quick story. I used to work with a guy in Burwood, and he was feeling a bit under the weather. His wife took his 2 kids and left, and basically left him alone. So he decided that 10 stories in the pavement was a better option. And because he had no one to talk to. And we used to, I had no idea at this time. I was a 15, 16-year-old kid, so I had no idea. But there was no one for him to talk to. No one actually went to him and said, dude, what's wrong? Is there anything I can do for you? Do you need someone to talk to? Is there any way I can help you? And it was basically, he was left alone, he was shut off, and he got into a deep, dark spot. And I think I agree with Peter 100% on that. I mean, you know, there's so many people out there that don't know where to go or who to turn to. And this is why I wanted to help Ryan with this type of thing, because it puts a big red flag on it and goes, hey, look at me. We're here. We want to help. You know?
And, you know, it's not just up to that individual too. Like, even when you're having an are you okay conversation, your role is to provide them with referral options. So you give them, because your job is not to fix this. You know, even if I'm a psychologist, my job is not to fix anything for someone. I can't do that. I can't guarantee I'm going to fix something for that person. My job is to listen, to provide options and strategies, but also things, exactly what you're doing. Here's Lifeline's number. Here's Kids Helpline's number. This is a really cool GP that I know in the area that is really good with mental health. You know, those sorts of things are part of your role, because you can't take that burden on yourself. You are not responsible for another person's mental health. Yeah. And I also
think that the education department should really think about doing more in the schools. There are a few programs out there. I'm actually a part of the program, the YAM program. It's the Youth Mental Health Awareness. We unfortunately we were meant to start doing things this year, but of course with the schools all shutting down, that's all been sort of cancelled this year. So, but I think there should be more. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for the prevention. So if we can get these kids early and be teaching this sort of stuff in schools at that vulnerable age, I think that's going to go a long way into the future of helping as many people.
Well, it's destigmatizing, isn't it? It's making kids from a young age learn that it's okay. It's okay to feel like this. It happens. It's not nice, but it happens a lot, and it's okay for me to reach out. I agree that nursing lacks mental health support as well. A lot of places where you would expect it to be high lack it, you know, quite a bit.
I do think with that though, it's not just that nursing lacks it. I think that it's a lack of people power in the nursing game, because those poor people, and we have to take a moment to recognize those people because they do the very best they can with their hands basically tied behind their backs.
Yeah, that's right.
My father-in-law works for Nets, and Nets is they do ambulance work for kids. So if there's an emergency, he'll go anywhere in New South Wales and go pick up kids who have been abused and things like that, or real sick kids, and he goes and picks them up. And he tells me stories and things that I've heard from him that there isn't really a focus point for those people to go to either. So while they like it and they provide it as much as possible, they don't really have anybody to go to either. So if you already feel like crap, it's hard to take somebody else and try and make them feel in the same situation.
That's right. Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah, agree. Yeah, and Peter, I totally agree. You know, this is kind of falls into this early intervention model. If we can get in there early, then hopefully we can help reduce the likelihood of anything escalating. But I think I really want to reiterate that really important point that it's not our responsibility to stop an escalation, but we can absolutely do lots and lots and lots to help prevent it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Anne-Marie. Definitely. I really do think that it should be in all schools, in all high schools. They should be teaching these sorts of things. 100% agree with you there, Anne-Marie. I could not agree with you anymore.
Totally.
I mean, I coach. Everyone knows I coach an under 16s women's soccer team, and
awesome.
You know, for the last, I've coached them since they were basically 12, 13, and I've watched them grow, and I've watched some of them just have all these things just come on top of them. I've watched their personalities change over the years, and I just keep thinking if there was that early prevention in their schools for them to just sort of get a grasp on all these things, maybe it wouldn't be so hard for them.
Being a teenager is hard.
It's hard. I've got one of my own. So I don't know, you've got one too, Mish. But
I got one too.
It's hard.
It is hard. And I remember what it was like. I'm constantly having this conversation with my daughter. I do remember what it was like to be your age. So she doesn't like to hear it, but it's true.
They'll never believe that you were their age, and we've all done that before, and we've been there before.
Been there, done that. I know.
That's one that I was going to look at. Tim, I work in a similar situation, and
that's horrible.
There's just they're not in. I mean, you're basically there. I work in a situation where it's basically you were there to do your job, slave labor, kind of do what you have to do. But you know what? Something that I have found out: you can go to WorkCover Australia. And you can talk to them about things like that because they will provide someone for you to talk to. If you feel that you're not being helped out in your own workplace environment, then you can talk to Workplace Australia, and WorkCover and Workplace Australia will help.
And there's, I agree. And there's work health and safety legislation as well that talks about, companies' responsibilities in assessing and mitigating risk. That's not just physical risk, that's psychological risk too. So they do have an obligation to put in place measures to support mental health. Perhaps some of them don't realise that because they are old school. But, also utilising some of these free numbers, but also reach out. I mean, I'm happy for you to message me and let me know where you live and I can put out a message to my network and find out who does bulk billing, if finances are a problem, because there's a few bulk billing psychologists that are around that could help as well.
Well, and look, if anybody is out there, and I don't think I need to say this, but if anyone out there is having a hard time, that's what Ryan's page is for. Post it up on Facebook, just in this private group, and then we'll be able to have a look at what you say, and then we'll be able to get in contact with you guys and help you out if you need it. I mean, hell, I'm on workers' comp, man. Call me any time of the day. I'll talk to you. I'm not fussed. I'm not worried at all. Uh-oh, Ryan's done something. He's off, guys. We knew we'd have a technical support problem. It was coming. But okay, look.
Wonder if it's his connection.
Hi, Amelia. I just wanted to say hi, Amelia, and hi to Shannon, because I can see they're on there. So we've got one here. You can't see. Can you see the comments?
No.
Okay,
I don't think I can. Hold on, let me see. Oh, yeah, I can.
Live comments, you got it there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got one from MJ.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Brain modelling, teaching young children about part of the brain and what emotions and functions it controls. Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people really take to that, actually. And I generally work a lot with, in the first session, talking about the parts of the brain in a more simplistic term. And I'll show you here, it might be useful. I talk about the neocortex and the limbic system. And I draw, excuse my writing and my drawing. There's my circle. Wait, there's my circle. Can you see that? Looks like a bum or boobs or something down the bottom. Hold on.
For that type of stuff.
That's the limbic, and that's the reptilian. So the neocortex part of the brain is responsible for logical reasoning. Are you okay?
Yeah. Just remember, Ryan, next time, put in the power cord. Attach the power cord so that the battery doesn't die. Damn it. How long we got? 47 minutes. We got to 47 minutes. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right, mate. We don't need you. We can just change this to the Damian and Michelle show and we'll be fine.
I was actually just gonna go, you know what? They've got it. I'll just sit back and watch. Continue.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
That's all right. So I'm just
Ryan,
I'm just responding to MJ's comment about brains and different part of the brains. And I was saying that I draw this very simplistic video for a lot of my patients about how the brain works. It's kind of it's a bit of an eye opener for people. So the neocortex part of the brain is responsible for logic and reasoning and problem solving and being able to think objectively. Yeah. The limbic part of the brain is emotion. It's purely emotion. It's not logical, and it's totally irrational. Yeah, it's just emotions, positive and negative. And the reptilian, is, and I've overlapped them on purpose, is vital organ functioning. So breathing and heart rate and things like that. So when you're in your emotional part of your brain, so when you're in the limbic, what happens to your heart rate?
It goes
when
up.
you're anxious, what happens to your heart rate? Yeah. And then your breathing becomes shallow. So you breathe heavier, your heart rate goes up, and you're really emotional and you're not logical. So you're not using many neurons in this part of the brain at all. So when you're depressed, lots of neurons are firing in this space, not many in the logical, rational part of the brain. Yep. So your thoughts are usually irrational, illogical. You feel out of control. What we talk about is the need to do things that bring you from this part of the brain back up into this part of the brain. Mm-hmm. And those things are really simple. They're things like talking to friends, talking to people, because they are in that part of the brain, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That for me, that's a huge part for me when I know when I'm feeling really, just not all together with it and feeling a bit in those lower ones. If I just get a phone call or I make a phone call to a few different people, bang, I'm back up again.
Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're here, but the person that you're talking to is here.
Yeah.
And they're drawing you, and it's not about you going all the way up into the neocortex. It's not going to happen. It's about meeting in the middle. That's where empathy and all those sorts of nice things happen. So, yeah. So, exercise, but reaching out's a big one, because what happens when you're depressed is you start falling into what we call unhelpful thinking styles. And that's what we work on in psychology. That's why I asked you before what your thoughts were. This is the data that we need so that we know how to challenge those thoughts, because they become irrational, right? And there's lots of categories of unhelpful thinking. There's catastrophizing is a really common one. I guess, for example, if you're a parent and your daughter goes out and they're not home when they say they're going to be home, a catastrophizing thought is, oh my God, they're dead in the gutter.
Yeah.
Without, going through logical, Another really common thought is personalizing, where everything's your fault. Oh my gosh, I've done something wrong, or I've upset that person, even though it's unlikely that what's happened has got anything to do with you. And another really common one is externalizing. It's everyone else's fault. Everyone else and everything else has caused me to feel like this. But it's often not the event. It's often not others. It's what's going on in here that's causing the depression.
Definitely.
So, it's about kind of trying to pull that back and manage that.
This is a special one.
Sorry, before you go to Amelia's one, I know it's important, but just go back up one to Pete's one.
Yep. Yeah, look, shift work. I do quite a few workshops for shift workers, and I actually work in the workers' compensation space as well. So I help manage psych injury on workers' comp. So work a lot with shift workers. There's a lot at play that is really difficult to manage, such as the shift work in itself. Having irregular sleep patterns, it does, wreaks havoc on your mental health and on your emotional regulation, because one of the most vital aspects of feeling good is regular sleep, good quality sleep. So when that's getting mucked around with, it's really difficult for your brain to regulate its emotions. My advice is get into as much of a regular rhythm as you possibly can. Structure is really important. So, the same routine when it comes to going to sleep, whether it's day or night, so that you're reminding your brain that, oh, it's sleep time, and exercise, eating well, fueling your body, all of those sorts of things.
100%.
It's hard. It's hard.
It definitely is. All right, Amelia.
This is my daughter. My daughter has a question.
Yep. So, Amelia, I work a lot with, it's started to become a bit of a specialty of mine. I work a lot with self-compassion. I have found that self-compassion is linked to a lot of disorders, or lack of self-compassion is linked to a lot of disorders, such as depression and anxiety, but also things like perfectionism and unrelenting standards and feeling you're not good enough, or you're not doing good enough. And how old, Amelia, how old is, so Ryan, how old's Amelia?
She's 13.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, a really yucky aspect of being 13 is that we start to become really self-critical. We start to become really mean to ourselves, about ourselves. And then we notice all the mean things that other people are saying or doing as well. So I've got some really good resources. I might just post this. Let me find it for you. That maybe you can work through, Amelia, as a starter to building self-compassion. So this website is awesome. I give my patients these modules to work through. Where do I post it? Can I reply?
Just in the comment section if you can.
In the live comments?
Yeah, in the live comments, and then I'll flick it up here.
I don't think it's letting me.
Not letting you? Okay.
You might have to put it into the private chat section.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, can I put that there?
If not, we'll put it up on the Facebook page.
Great. So this is just one module. This is just one area, which is self-compassion, but there's lots and lots on this website that I really like. It's all mainly CBT, but there's anxiety and depression and self-compassion and things like tolerating distress, which is linked to things like addiction, like gambling and drinking and drug taking, etc. Yeah, there's loads on there. But Amelia, you might get some benefit from this just to start with. And then, you know, your dad knows exactly who you should be calling. There's numbers down there. There's the kids helpline. It's all confidential. You don't have to tell your mum and dad what you talk about, by the way.
But who wants to listen to dad?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I hope that helped you, sweetheart. Okay, so remember there's lots of help out there for you, okay?
There is loads and loads. And if you want to talk to someone, let dad know, and I can maybe find someone for you that might be suitable. Yeah, and Headspace is Headspace.
Yep. Yep, thanks, Timmy. That's a good one, buddy. What else have we got? Let me just quickly go back up. Damian, did you want to touch on a bit of bullying, or did you want to do that later, or do you want to have a crack at that now, mate?
Look, we're right in the middle of this, so let's stick with this for the minute.
Keep going with this.
Okay. That a bit after. So I guess the question now is when you do. Sorry, I had a mental blank for a minute then. When you do get to a point where you have recognized somebody and you think that you've done everything that you possibly can to help that person, what's a safe way to follow up without having to trigger something?
Really good question, because I find that, you know, I go through this model and I go, right, you know all the early warning signs. You may not always notice them, but if you do, you've initiated a conversation. That person maybe has let you know some things, some personal things that they might not have told anyone before, so they've entrusted you with this information. You've not gone ahead and tried to solve the problem for them because you want to empower them, right? You want them to be able to do this for themselves. So some of the things you might say to them are, where do you think we should go from here? What do you think is a really good first step for you? And just getting them to come up with some of this stuff for themselves.
Yep.
Then you go away, and if you don't talk to them again, they're going to feel really let down. They're going to feel like you just ticked a box, right? So following up is so important. And I would give them some time. You know, you don't want to be talking about their mental health in their face every day. You know, how are you? Are you okay? You know, it's going to make them feel, you know, like, oh, maybe something is wrong with me. But you do want to be, you do want to be attentive, but not overly attentive. So you want to maybe give them a week and then touch base and go, hey, just want to check in with you. Because you probably already agreed on a first step, you might just say, hey, how did you go? Did you end up finding someone to talk to? Or, hey, did you end up seeing the GP or whatever? You know, so you can just follow up on the action that you agreed to. And my advice would be, don't make their mental health a topic of conversation every time you talk to them.
No, yeah.
They want to know that you're their friend too, right? So,
well, things like a simple good morning, how are you, or good day, usually in our culture. But, you know, just a general. But you see, do you think it would be weird if it was somebody that you necessarily didn't speak to on a regular? Would that make them feel funny?
Well, is this in the context of already having an "Are you okay" conversation with them, or you haven't had an "Are you have"?
So you have had that conversation, and this is now in the follow-up stage of business.
Well, you've already kind of moved past just informal hellos, though, don't you reckon? Once you've had a "Are you okay" conversation, I reckon you're in a pretty good place to be saying, you know, hey, how are you? I just wanted to follow up, make sure everything went okay or you're okay. Ryan, we've lost Ryan again.
Don't worry about him. It's all right. It's mine and your show. No, see, what I mean more...
No, I don't think it's weird. Yeah, explain to me.
So, okay, I'll elaborate a little bit. Okay, we've lost everybody then. No,
oh, hello, I'm here.
yeah, we're all back. Okay. Just, Ryan, go downstairs and...
That's why I'm just sitting here I'm trying to focus on all these computers going. I'm trying to keep this thing going, guys. So you do your thing because you guys are killing it. The one job I've got, I'm not doing very well at. So
no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. No, elaborate for me. So what do you mean? In what situation do you mean?
What I mean is, for example, if you're at, I'll use you for an example because you can then talk about it in a personal way. You're at the office and it's someone that you don't really speak to. It's more of a, hi, how are you? Or you bypass each other and say hello. But if you notice a behavioral pattern change in that person, and then you want to say to them,
you want to initiate a conversation.
Yeah, so then before you initiate the conversation, say, hey, look, I noticed that you're not doing this or you're not acting the normal way or however you would put it.
Yeah, whatever way you would approach it, yeah.
Yeah, and then after you give them a bit of leeway time, you have the week, and then if you want to follow up again with them, although you don't have a regular conversation or a regular relationship with this person, what is an important way or a respectful way, I guess you would say, to approach them again to follow up?
Yeah, I reckon the same way you did the first time. Yeah, being mindful of location and timing. It might just be really informal. Hey, do you want to go for a quick chat? Do you want to go have a quick coffee? Let's go for a walk or whatever. Yeah. So you're pulling them away, and it's not formal, especially. And I think any of the managers online too, if you're having these "Are you okay?" conversations with, and you're a manager, be really careful with the way that you approach. I don't like those words. Not be careful, but be mindful that if you approach someone who's got early warning signs and you say to them, listen, can I have a meeting with you in half an hour? That's going to trigger some anxiety, right? They're going to go, oh my God, what have I done wrong? Yeah. So keeping it really friendly, there's nothing serious. I thought we could just have a chat, or do you want to come have a cup of tea with me, or whatever, so anything that's going to make them feel comfortable. I think once you've had that initial conversation, you're in. Easy peasy. Just go up and, how are you going? Yeah.
I think it's also a good way for us as in a personal light to make form a new friendship. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Well, why not? I mean, you never know. Like a bit of history between me and Ryan. We used to work at Masters together, and we've known each other for a very long time. And it was basically that exact same situation. He was told to come and work with me, and he was a bit standoffish at the beginning. But then we started talking, and it took all. We spoke about this last week. It took all but nothing for us to start talking, and then new friendship straight off the bat.
So what's the foundation? It all comes down to trust, right? So what is the foundation of a relationship? Is trust. How do you build trust? Talking. Communication.
I don't know.
You have to talk to each other. Otherwise, there's no trust. There's none. So you guys had a chat, you started talking, you started to trust each other, right? So
I think it also boils down to making the other person, whoever you're speaking to in a stranger situation, making them feel comfortable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So,
especially if they're strangers. And I think a lot of the time our fears get in the way of approaching others.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes it's fear of rejection, or maybe I'm getting this wrong, and I'm going to look really stupid if I get this wrong, or
That's what I felt, because Damian had been there maybe 2 weeks before me, and it was like, and I was running a little section outside on the floor, and he was out the back, and And then, you know, I got sort of, all right, now I need you to go and coordinate with Damian and do a few things. I was like, me coordinate with him? He's been here longer than me, like, albeit 2 weeks. But
Yeah,
it was
so
like,
that's the thoughts, right?
like what I'm supposed to sort of tell him what to do, and how's that going to work? But
yeah,
it worked, didn't it, Damo?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure did, buddy. Sure did. But I think it's just important because a lot of workplaces are different. I mean, look, realistically, a work site is different to an office block. Yeah. And you rock up to
absolutely.
You rock up to
You've
a
got
job
culture,
site.
you've got
You know, it's like, g'day boys, how's it going? Let's get in, blah blah blah. And you might not see that person on a work site again.
Yeah.
But in an office situation, you see that person every day pretty much. You walk by them every day.
More regular. Yeah. And I think also too, there's stigma attached. You know, you've got this culture at play too, you know, at a work site where it's mostly full of blokes who have been taught that it's not okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So
we don't,
you know, it's
men aren't supposed to show weakness. Men aren't, you know, you don't show your weakness. No, come on, toughen up. No. That's just, you know.
And that's what was going back to Peter's comment all the way up before, because who do you go to a job site and you feel like you're the black sheep of the job site and you're going through some stuff. Who do you talk to? What do you do? You can't. You don't want to show weakness or anything like that. And now I think this is a perfect opportunity, apart from Peter's question, if it's a serious question. I don't know if he's being funny or not.
I thought he was being serious, but then I saw some following comments so Peter, are you being serious or are you being cheeky? Because I don't know, Peter, but some people seem to find it quite funny.
Again, you know, like,
how do you know?
It could be a front. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, men, you know, have got that, for lack of a better word, that stigma around them that no, I have to be tough, and this is the way I am. And but maybe, I mean, Pete has been watching these videos for the last few weeks, and maybe something is getting into him. It's making him realise, you know what? Maybe it's okay.
These are some of the things that.
Well,
I mean,
you got Pete. Damn it.
but you know what? Even if that was a serious question, it's a good one, because shyness can be what we call a vulnerable personality style, because it can maybe contribute to a reluctancy to reach out and ask for help because they're shy. So it can make them vulnerable. It can put them at high risk. So on a serious note, it can make you vulnerable. Yeah.
100%.
But I'm getting the idea that Peter's not shy. So
no, I don't think so either.
I didn't think so. I wanted to just play it safe just in case. But yeah, I know Pete's shy.
But it also was like we were talking last week. Remember, there's no need to be shy. Be proud of who you are.
Yes.
If you are this, like me in personal life, I can be a very loud, abrupt, straight to the point type person, and with my history, I built up that skin. Yeah. But then also, man, I could sit there and talk your head off and not even know who you are. In both lights, and then I can go into a point where I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to interact with people. I just want to be like this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want anybody to talk to me. Leave me alone. I want to do my own things. And that, again, guys, is human nature.
And what about people that do that? That people that, you know, were, say, you know, the life of the party, and they were sort of, you know, so social and all that sort of stuff, and now all of a sudden things that have happened to them, they've sort of pulled back from their friendships, their social life and things like that. And
this is a very, very, very common symptom. So most of the time when I do screening, so I'll do an initial interview with a patient, I'll ask a series of questions that are very common in terms of symptoms. One, that most of the time people go, yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling. and it's good because it makes them realise that this is common. This is why I'm asking these things. So, and one of the common ones are, what's your exercise been like? Have you withdrawn from exercise? Have you withdrawn from socialising? Do you feel like you've got no motivation? You don't really want to see people anymore? What's your concentration like? What's your memory like? All of these questions are the same, because for most people who are depressed, the same stuff is going on for them, So look, social isolation. So cognitive behavioural therapy, and Ryan, you will have learned about this or learning about this. It focuses on the cognition, so the thoughts. So what is going on in my head? And we talk about the unhelpful thinking styles. How do I dispute the catastrophizing? How do I start repairing my relationships because I feel like everyone's against me? Yeah, that sort of thing. Then there's the behavior, and that's the B in CBT is behaviors. I like to work on behaviors first because I find that they're easier. And what we mean by that is the common behaviors that occur when someone is depressed is their sleep turns to crap. So I try and manage that first thing, because if you're getting good sleep, that person's getting a boost in dopamine and serotonin. And so it's going to be easier to manage the thoughts. So let's get their sleep sorted. Let's get them exercising, even if they don't want to. And I'm not talking about body attack 7 days a week. You can if you want, but we're talking, 2 20-minute walks a week, nothing, 3 10-minute walks a week, whatever, get outside, get some fresh air. And then we try and increase social engagement, because if we can get those 3 things increased, then much easier to start challenging these horrible thoughts that we're having,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just getting back to good old Pete here.
I might just post before we do go, and I thought you might have already done this, but it's a sad video, but it's an informative video, and it's really, I like it because it's an excellent visual representation of what it's like for most people who have depression.
Okay.
There you go. So you can watch it, people can watch it in their own time or whatever, and it's from the Black Dog Institute, and the video is called I Have a Black Dog, and it's, I don't know how long it is, not very long, but it's just a really good normalizing video. You watch it and you go, that's exactly what it's like. But, this is exactly what it feels like. Yeah.
Watch that video.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
beautiful. Sensational. All right. Well, Michelle, Damian and I will probably continue to talk, but if you would like, it's up to you. If you want to hang around, if you want to go. Thank you so much. The comments on here, I haven't been able to put, actually, where is one of them here? If I can quickly find it. Like, a lot of these are coming through. They're loving the session. It's been very informative. Myself, I've just been sitting here in awe, just thinking, I can't believe I'm getting to watch this. This is just so good. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate
it. No, that's okay. And I think that, and I've said this to you, Ryan, in private, but I'll say it in public now, that what you're doing is amazing. This is all people need. They just need a safe space to talk. And you have more experience and knowledge than you're giving yourself credit for. Lived experience for the both of you. Lived experience is pretty significant. You've been there, so
yeah.
I mean, that's
the technical stuff. Really, I can give you some advice and give you some strategies, but really, that's what the purpose of this forum, right, is just to be able to safely go, hey, thank you so much. That now I know that this is normal, So you're doing good. You're doing a good thing.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you. We appreciate it. Again, that was the point of this, was just to make that safe space for people to come on, express their views like they've been doing here, and just pulling down that stigma, that's around mental health. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all those kind words. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries. No, and I tune in, and like I said, I don't often get on live, but I always watch it on Saturday morning. So look, hey, I think even the allied health community, the mental health community, appreciate what you're doing. So good.
Fantastic. I hope so. Listen, again, I would love to have you on again in the future if you'd love to come on again and have another chat.
Whenever you like.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. Really appreciate that.
Next week. See you next week on Friday, Michelle.
See you, Michelle.
Anytime. Honestly, this is awesome, and thanks everyone. You're very kind. I've read all your comments. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a lovely weekend and a good Mother's Day if you're a mother.
Thank you. Look, I just wanted to say
happy Mother's Day to Michelle.
I just wanted to say, Michelle, thank you very much for coming on and talking to everybody. I mean, as me and Ryan can sit here and go on and on and on about things that, I mean, Ryan's more of a professional. You never thought you'd hear me say that, did you? Than I am. I've only got life experience, and you said that that's important. So thank you for saying that.
It's so important. It's so important.
And
it's no point having a psychologist on who, I mean, I've got some lived experience too, but there's many psychologists out there that have all the technical knowledge, but it's no use if you don't really have a lived experience. So you guys have so much more knowledge than I think you do. Yeah.
It all comes down to that self-confidence again, doesn't it? Really?
It does.
Okay. So I know that it's been said, but I'll say it again. Thank you very much for coming on, and we're bringing you back. This is not the last time you'll see this face.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
See you, Michelle.
See ya.
So she's a really, really nice lady.
She really is, mate. And she's like, as I said at the start, I've been wanting to get a psychologist on, and I always had her in the back of my mind because I didn't want just anyone. Like she said, there's so many psychologists out there that, yes, can read from a textbook and they learn stuff, but I've known Michelle, I went to school with Michelle, and I know her, I know some of her past, and I know that she has lived experience, and that truly does make a huge difference in a psychologist. Basically anyone in the mental health industry, if you have that lived experience, that means that you've got just that more empathy for people, and you've got that more of an understanding, and people aren't just a case number. You're not just a case for that. No one is a case for Michelle. Michelle, I mean, she treats everyone, on their merits and who they are, and they're not just all right, next. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to get her on for a while. As soon as I asked her, bang, she said yes. So and I'm really glad. I'm so glad that she came on tonight, and I'll definitely, judging by she seemed to have a good time, so I'm sure we'll be able to get her back on in the future, and to bring, as she said, we do know what we're talking about, to a certain point. To a certain point, but that just, that brings that legitimacy to what we're doing here. You know what I mean? It's good to listen to us, because we've got that lived experience, but to have someone with with that extra knowledge and that extra, that just, not a little bit extra, a lot extra. Yeah. Just, as I know, I'm sorry, I apologize to everyone if you think I was just sitting here not contributing, but I was learning as she was, because as you all know, I'm going to TAFE and I'm learning this sort of stuff. I was sitting here just absorbing everything she was saying, and I know now that was what, an hour and 15 minutes. I'm an hour and 15 minutes more smarter than I was. You know what I mean? That was all that knowledge. So I just, Michelle, thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving up your time tonight and coming on here. I'm blown away, really. I'm just a bit speechless. So now you talk now.
I've been talking for the last hour. No, look. Okay, so I'm going to run off what Anne-Marie just said. Empathy is so important. Now, yes, I reckon we should get Anne-Marie on here if she would ever come on, because that would be great.
Look, I've tried. Come on, Mary-Ann. You know you want to come in. Listen, and what we'll do, Mary-Ann, we'll put you in the middle of us two. So you'll be the rose between two thorns. You'll be the rose between two buffets. All right?
Hey.
One buffet and one...
Good-looking bloke. Thank you very much.
Good-looking bloke, yeah. Here, look.
No, straight off the bat. Look, it would be great because... It would be great because she and okay, so earlier Ryan mentioned that we're going to have a I see that.
No, sorry, that was my daughter. She's sitting next to me, but she doesn't want to come on camera.
Anne-Marie's comment.
Which one? Oh, this one?
Anne-Marie.
Yeah. Anne-Marie, you know. Come.
So earlier, Ryan, we were talking. You were wanted to lead into the segue, and we're going to do this for the second half. Now that Anne-Marie, that's not nice. Obviously, it's me.
Which one is actually good looking? Me.
Obviously.
Me.
Yeah, Amelia is the good looking one.
Me. I
Come
am.
on, come over and say hello. Just quickly, just come and say hello. Just real quick.
No.
No?
No.
Too shy.
No.
Sorry, Damo. You've said this time.
Yeah, we were going to lead into a segue about bullying, which I think is very important. Not just in a workplace. I think for anyone who's got young kids young kids, anybody really, schoolyard bullying, all of it, the lot. Now, it's horrible. It truly is. It's probably the worst thing it's one of the worst things that can ever happen to somebody. And to be in that situation is dreadful. Purely and utterly dreadful. It's
not called for, it's not needed, it's not, and to be the recipient of it can, it can honestly, it can mean the difference between living and making that permanent decision. You know what I mean? So, it's nothing to be taken lightly, so just, go on.
So you can see it now in Ryan's face. It's changed his mood completely because he's thinking about it. And it does the same thing to me when I think about it. I went through my entire school life pretty much with bullying. And it's horrible. And I didn't do anything about it. Funnily enough, I didn't do a thing about it. I sat back and copped it for how long you at school for? 12 years?
12 years, yeah.
Something like that. Whatever it is, however long you're at school for. And I copped it right up until the end where I just cracked. So, and it changed me. It changed me for who I was. I went from being a bright young spark to being worthless. Really, and truthfully, there's no other word for it. I went from the highest to highest right down to the lowest of lows. It was, and you see, you really can't say anything else apart from dreadful. And I did things, it made me do things that I would never do. And see, Lisa, there we go. So many children start to do this, and I wish I had the magical power just to crawl inside their head and fix everything that was wrong. I really do. And I would just what I would do if I could get just a minute with these kids and just have a chat with them and just be there for them, it would just make the difference in my world, because what they can't understand is self-harming is that sudden rush, that feeling. So you get to feel something, that push, and it's a statement. And there's a whole many different ways of doing it. And I can't stand to hear things like that, especially because it's after 9 o'clock. Some other little bastard kid is picking on your children and making them go off and hurt themselves. Totally, what the hell is that? So what needs to happen is, I think, and I would be appalled if my child went to school and started doing that. I would want to know. So I think the parents of these children need to start to find out what's happening. And I think, and I actually heard something the other day that they're going to start making parents responsible for the way that their children behave at school.
So they should. You know, kids don't think, like, you know, I don't want to put all the blame on parents, but kids don't, you know, this is learned behavior, you know what I mean? And I'm not labeling everyone, but it's learned behavior, you know what I mean? So, it all starts in the home. And, you know, if kids are coming to school picking on other kids, like, it's just, I mean, whether it be, you know, the parents are picking on them at home so that to make themselves feel better, they go to school and pick on someone else to make themselves feel better because that's all they know. It's just a repetitive cycle.
Yeah.
But again, like 100%, I mean, you know, because kids that do these sorts of things, what do they get? They get a slap on the wrist. Don't do that again. How is that deterring them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, it doesn't deter them. They come back and they're going to do it again and again and again until they push someone so far to the edge that you know, then it's too late for lifeline. They're already, you know, they've already made that decision. And, you know, with the suicide rate in this country for teenagers is ridiculous. It is just it brings tears to my eyes every time I look at it. The suicide rate overall in this country is just it's terrible, but especially in teenagers. You know, and we're just losing too many of them for just, you know, I mean, look at this one here, you know, like, again, Lisa, like, I mean, a 13-year-old receiving a death threat, like, seriously, like, and there you go, the police wouldn't do anything because of the girl's age. Like, well, I'm sorry, that's
pathetic.
That's not good enough, and it's not, you know, how is oh, look, this topic is just firing me up, really. Like, it just
That's good. See, don't be sorry about it, mate, because we need to get, if you want to vent some frustration and anger, because it's getting me to the same point. Things like that. Now, see, if that was my daughter who received a death threat in the mail, I would have made my daughter tell me who it was. I would have gone around there, and I'm not above slapping a 13-year-old. No way, I'm telling you. Or I would have at least talked to the parents and say, hey, tell your kid to pull their head in.
Well, see, that's where it should be. That, you know, like, the parents should be held somewhat accountable for that, because, you know, like, at least being able to go around and say, listen, do you understand what's going on here? Do you understand what your child is doing to my child? And your child is pushing my child to their absolute edge, and because of their age, nothing's allowed to be done. So are you going to do anything about this, or are you just going to continue to let your child bully my child and harass and destroy my child's life because what? Because of her age? And well, no, the kids are kids. Oh, that's just a bullshit cop out, and I'm just, you know, it just fires me up so much.
Kids will be kids. What a load of horse shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, I've seen it before. I've seen it when my sister copped it. I've seen it when I've copped it. I've seen my cousins copped it. Hell, my sister that lives up around the corner from you, she copped it. But luckily, she's a big enough girl that she had dealt with it herself.
Mm.
You know, but there are kids out there that get broken down so badly that they can't. Right? Yeah. Okay, look, Lisa, I understand. Okay, and Anne-Marie, sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Yeah, if it was Mike, I wouldn't care what age exactly. I don't care what age the girls are. And cyberbullying, that's another point that I'm going to get onto very shortly. But it's hard, guys. Parents didn't do anything. The school ended up talking to all the students. She was 11. 11. What type of 11-year-old girl is thinking about sending death threats to another child? At 11-year-old, I was the only thing I was thinking about is my cartoons in the morning while I ate breakfast.
That's it, man. It's like, you know, I mean, yeah, look, it's life is very different to when you and I grew up, Damo. You know, and
mate,
you know,
I don't get it. The most important thing in my life at 11 years old was what I was going to, the next time I was going to get to eat, the next thing I was going to watch on TV, and the next game I was going to play on my, I don't even know what it was then, a PlayStation, I guess. But that was my life at 11. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to send a death threat. You've got to be kidding me. Like, what is this? And you know what? I think it is. I think, now I'm going to sound like a real old fuddy-duddy here for a minute, but this whole social media thing for kids is a load of shit. Like, truly, I truly believe that children of a certain age should not be allowed to be on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. TikTok's not so bad. You set it for private and dance around, it's fine. But you know, things like that, and so like, but we also got to make sure the content of what kids are watching on telly too. I mean, some things are on telly that children should not watch.
And that's what I was saying to you. You know, we grew up in a different time. You know, where there was bullying when we were younger, but it was in the schoolyard, and when you left school, it was done. You know, that was it until the next day or whatever. But now these kids, they cop it at school. They come home, they cop it on Facebook. They'll cop it on any sort of social media. So it's relentless. It's 24 hours. And yeah, you're right. You know, like social media should be limited to age. I think I really do believe that. Like it's gone to that point now where it's just, you know, there's no one knows what to do. Well, there you go. There's something to do. Limit the age. Just shut it down. Shut these things, except for our page. Our page is good, you know. But you know what I mean? Like it's just.
Why can't you cut the age limit to have it parental guide from 16 and on?
There you go. Yeah, something like that.
And but when you sign in and you'll see, I mean, there's ways around it. You just lie about your age, obviously. I mean, you know, but for the kids who are doing it properly, you put in your age, born in this year. Okay, your parents have full access to your page and see everything that you post.
Definitely.
I mean, and if I was scrolling through my Facebook and it came up, my daughter's messaging this person, and there was some bad comment, I'd go and confront her. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Who are you to talk to somebody else like that? You know what I mean? And yes, Carly, I completely agree with you. There is no simple solution. And a lot of the time it is the trauma that they're dealing with from their parents, but the parents are also blinded to what they're doing to their children. You know what I mean? Like, and you've got it here, Anne-Marie. At 11-year-old, the worst thing she saw, she was worried about The Sims and Passions. Passions, really? Well, yeah. But South Park, you know, South Park was another thing. So what? It's South Park. If you can't determine the difference between real life and a cartoon, then you have further issues than just bullying. I'm sorry.
Big time. Yeah, and again, I keep bringing it back. It's for me, it's learned behaviour. Kids don't come out. When we're born, we're not born racists. We're not born bullies. We're not born to hate. You know, all that stuff is learnt behaviour. You know what I mean? And the kids spend most of their time at home with parents and with aunties and uncles and whatever. So that's those people have got to take some accountability for this. It's not just these kids don't wake up one day going, you know what, I'm going to go harass the shit out of this girl today, and I'm going to make her do something really stupid. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just it's learnt over time, and it's, you know, they see other people treating them like that, and, you know, getting away with it. So, you know, why not? You know, I'm going to do it too. And I honestly think, you know, with bullies, as I say to my daughter, you know, bullies bully people to make themselves feel better. So again, and then in saying that too, and some bullies, you know, have clearly been bullied themselves, and to make themselves feel better, that's how they get that sort of, you know, oh, I need to feel good about myself because I'm always being put down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make someone else feel bad, and that in turn will make me feel better. So again, it's that cycle. If I see it, I'll do it, make them feel better, it'll make me feel better, and round and round and round again. And it's just got to, you know, it's just, anyway.
Yeah, but you're right, mate. And I can see the frustration building. You're getting veins in the top of your head. We can all see them now.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The veins now, yeah, this one, yeah.
It's just, and like, as everyone's saying, I mean, you have a look at your childhood or what you went through, and what do you do? I mean, how do you? What's the solution? I mean, we want to protect our children from this stuff, and I mean, I know you want to look after your son and your daughter, but I mean, what do you do? How do you protect them from it when it's 24/7?
You know, like, you know, going back to where is it? No simple solution, unfortunately.
No,
you know, there's just not. You know, it's a society thing, and, you know, it's gonna have to be worked on, and, you know, and people, it's gonna to be, look. I don't know. I haven't got the answer, and I wish I did. I really wish I had the answer to, you know, to end all this stuff. And again, you know, we're moving away from the schoolyard. This shit happens to people like you and me in the workplace.
Yeah,
I mean, that's even worse, because kids are one thing, right? But for one adult to bully another adult at the workplace, that, I mean,
it's bullshit.
Yeah, that's it. It really is. It's really, it's just, you know, and it's not fair for people to, you know, to have to be subjected to that every single day, just going to work, trying to earn a living for their family, and, you know, along with, you know, them trying to, you know, the hardships of work anyway. Work is hard enough, but to be able to go to work and be harassed at work on a daily basis too, like, it's just, it's not on. It really is. It's just, it's.
Hold on, Ryan, go back up to that one from Lisa.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, things like that, man. I mean, look, so her daughter's going through it. She's going to counselors and everything like that. I mean, look, Alan, I would really love to be able to say to you, this is what you've got to do, but I don't know what to do.
What I can say is to seek help. Don't, you know, hang on, I'll put you got the kids helpline coming across now, okay? They're the people that you ring. They're the people that you call. I know it's not the prevention of it. Clearly, there's no sort of. I wish there was an anti-bullying sort of number that we could find, but it's about, you know, if your kid has gotten to that stage, been pushed to that stage, then clearly they're going to need some help dealing with it. And again, you know, you've got the kids helpline there. I'll try and find the other one now without me going offline. You got Headspace, you know, and the Black Dog Institute. There's so much help out there, but, you know, I mean, it's all, what do you know? It's all about you know, just that prevention. If we can sort of get to it, if we can get and help these kids out in some way, and all these adults too that are, you know, that are dealing with it as well. There's all these numbers here that you can reach out. I know, sorry, going a bit off topic there, Damo. Sorry, mate, but
I know, it's right. It's important. You know, people need to see this stuff. And all these numbers will help. I mean, these guys are actual trained, full-on professionals. and they will be able to help you more than anything.
That's good, Jason. There you go. Remove yourself from the situation. If it's possible for you to do that, do it. Do it. Some people find themselves that they just can't, and it's just relentless. They're in that zone every single day, and they can't sort of remove themselves. But if you have the power to remove yourself, there's a solution. Remove it. Get out of there. Get out of there, because no one deserves to live their life being constantly picked on and ridiculed, whether it be, race, culture, anything, like gender, just anything. I mean, people will pick on you for anything. You know what I mean? I mean, going back to when I was in high school, I got called wob a lot, and that sort of, even in primary school, I was called a wob. And, I used to wear glasses. I mean, I still do wear glasses, but I still have, I mean, I'll be honest now, I'm releasing more about myself now. I should be wearing glasses now, but I got picked on so much in school for, four eyes, you four-eyed fat geek and things like that, it still sticks in my mind that I still, to this day, I only wear my glasses when I'm at home. You know what I mean? Like it's traumatized me that much that I'm still, I even went out yesterday, for instance. I was online doing my TAFE work all day. We went out Thursday night shopping just to quickly go and get Michelle a Mother's Day present. Had my glasses on because I was, doing all my stuff. Got in the car, we drove, we got there. I'm walking across the road and I'm like, about to walk in the shopping centre, and then say, "Oh, hang on, you got your glasses on. I'll take your glasses off." And it's only just hit me. It's only just hit me now talking about this. I'm like, that stems from when I was like, 12, 11, that thing. So it can stay with you for such a long time. Hey, Katie, thanks for joining. Great recommendations about getting counselling for family, receive medical doctors. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. And it does. There are just so many. I mean, like again, that's just getting back to my point. I'm still dealing with the trauma of when I was a younger kid, of something simple, of it's something that aids me, that helps me a bit. That's why I sit here struggling on a Friday. You know what? Next week, I'm wearing my glasses. I don't care.
That's it.
I sit here struggling to read this stuff because of this trauma that I deal with from when I was younger, and I suffer from it because I can't read the questions. Probably that's why you see me sometimes coming up like this, because I can't read. But the trauma that it gives these kids, you know what I mean? And I mean, I'm 38. I'm 39 next week, and I still am traumatized from all those years ago. So and that was relatively, compared to what kids are going through now today, that was nothing. So I can't imagine what these kids are going to be like in 20 years' time. How traumatized they're going to be. And that's why, again, these sorts of forums and talking about mental health now, to set it up for the future, because mental health is just going to go up higher and higher over the next 15, 20 years. If we can get to it now and start being more comfortable now to talk about these sorts of things, for these kids here, it'll make it easier for them to be able to feel the confidence to be able to go and seek help, and not have to deal with it like we did, you know what I mean, and sit there and suffer with it in silence.
Yeah, 100%. Now you got one, Marie. Now, see, if anybody ever did that to me about my dad, I would have socked them where they stood, to be honest with you. I'm not condoning anybody to be violent, but things like that is not right. That is wrong. And that is the type of things that we need to teach children of today and adults, because there are some SOBs out there that will do shit like that. That is wrong. And look, there you go. Last comment, quickly, Ryan, before she gets rid of it. Last comment. You wear your glasses, she'll come on.
What's up, my glasses, mate? My actual glasses. They're in my.
You got your studies.
Love you, buddy. Love you, mate.
And Marie, Ryan will wear his glasses and you'll be on. I'll even put mine on. There again.
Hang on, Damian, talk.
Yeah, talk. Anyway, look. It is absolutely, guys, and it's something that I hate, and it riles me up. I'm sorry if I got a bit aggro there for a minute. It's horrible. And hi, Shannon. I didn't see that. I saw you before. I didn't get a chance to say hello. But the girls, yeah, see, with the girls, and it was horrible. I was really grieving and have to, yeah, see. Well, things like that, mate, you don't have to be, the people shouldn't pick on you for things like that, especially for a loved one passing away. I mean, what are they going to pick on you about for? It's horrible. But anyway, here he is. Hey, there we go. So, Anne-Marie, you're contractually bound. Now you have to come on.
That's liberating. That really is.
We got to win. We got to win, guys.
We got to win. There you go.
See? Anne-Marie, you have to seriously talk to me on Facebook, and we have to talk because I want to talk to you.
Anne-Marie's awesome, dude. I reckon you two would get along really, really well. Really, really well. Yeah, that's
Good looking.
hang on. You like them? I actually don't mind them, though. You know, and again, they look good. I look, you know, makes me look smarter. You know, and my God, I can read from back here. I don't have to be sitting up here. I can read from back here. But again, you know, it's just that constant, you know, oh, you're a four-eyed geek, you're a nerd. What do you need them for, you big nerd? You know, and just that constant. So I just, all right, bugger it. I won't see properly. I'll just to save myself getting bullied. Like Jason, I removed myself from the problem. So I took if this is what was getting me picked on, got rid of it. But I suffered because, you know, I'm constant headaches, not being able to read properly. I lost interest in school because of that, because I couldn't read properly, and you know, and just, you know, anyway, it goes on and on and on. Just the trauma to deal with it. So
yeah, go back one comment up to Lisa's comment. There you go, mate. Another win.
Darling, you know how much I love. I won't say your daughter's name because, you know, privacy reasons, but you know how much I love her. She's such a good girl. You know, and you know, nobody has to deal with that shit. Okay, and you know, and I know that she's a strong girl. She's about to change schools, you know, and even to that, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said that either. Or, you know, the things that happened to this poor girl, their whole life had to change because of it, you know, and that's just, you know, it just makes me so angry that a poor little girl's life and her family's had to change because of what was going on at school, you know, and that's just not on, you know what I mean? It's just not fair that anyone should have to go through that. Thanks, Pete. Liberating. There we go. I'm breaking barriers every week with this thing. I love it. You know, here we go. You guys are giving me the confidence. You know, you're giving. I'm noticing. I was actually talking in class today, in my TAFE class today, that you know, teachers were asking us how we're all sort of feeling at the moment and things like that. And I had the confidence to actually talk and say that for the first time in probably, you know, in over 20 years, I feel so confident in myself, the most confident that I ever have. And I feel like I'm in very much control of my life again. And, you know, and again, even just simply putting these on tonight in front of everyone is taking my confidence up another level. You know, it's given me, you know, and for all the kids out there and for anyone out there that you have suffered, is suffering, you can take back the power. Giving these bullies the power for so many years, that was what was part of my anxieties and what really pulled me down. And sort of took my life away from me, I allowed these people to take. Are you laughing at this, Buffett?
No, I'm laughing at Simon's comment.
What did he write?
Sorry, I know you were talking, but I had to laugh.
More than likely, Sim. More than likely, man. You know what was funny? 5 minutes before I came on, had the computer set up, and I'm like, I plugged in the cord. So the cord was plugged into the power. Like, don't forget now to plug that in, right? Don't forget it. Yeah, sweet, cool. And then I sat here, played with my phone, and then before I knew it, we were on. And as that happened, I had no idea. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's battery's dead. But I'm like, and then I looked at the power. I'm like, oh shit, the power cord's not plugged in. Damn it! And I freaked. Seriously, the first thing I did was quickly got on Facebook on my phone, and news was still going because I thought it was going to shut everything down. But thank God you guys were still keeping it going. But oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, Timo. Thanks, man. What's this one? I was even bullied as an apprentice. Fighting didn't help. There you go. Yeah, the best thing I did is leave and continue my apprenticeship with another company. Good on you, Jace. Good man. Again, there you go. You could have succumbed to that and given up that apprenticeship because of some asshole, but you chose to do what was best for you. And I applaud you, mate. Well done, buddy. And that's anyone else out there, please read that. Look at that. That's the comment. If you have the power to remove yourself, do it. Because you're just empowering yourself. We've got to stop giving these assholes the power, basically, no matter what age. And I'm not going to stop calling them the A word, because whether it be a 10-year-old that's picking on or a 60-year-old that's being a bully, they're all assholes. It's simple as that.
That. And we were talking about labels before. That's their label.
That is their label. 100%. 100%.
And Anne-Marie, like I see your comment down there, the last one, and you tell Lisa from us that if there's anything else that we can do to help her or her daughter, more than welcome to, mate. We'll help out if we can.
100%. Lisa, yeah. Lisa, you know how much I love your daughter, and if there's anything I can ever do for her, all you got to do is ask me. That's it. If I can help in any way. And again, not just Lisa, any of you. Like Damian said before, guys, there's on my page, I've got an inbox, so you can send me a private message. If you want to talk about anything and you haven't got the confidence yet to put it up here in front of everyone, that's fine. If you want to send me and Damian a private message and we can get back to you and have a private chat with you, please do it, guys. You know what I mean? Like, if there's anything that's on your mind that you're not confident in sharing here, please don't just sit there and go, oh, maybe, I'd like to ask that question, but no, I won't. Send us a private message. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know. We'll talk. And another thing too, I can see that the numbers are starting to drop off now, and it's getting up to almost 2 hours. Guys, I'm opening and I'm extending this out to all of you now. And I know there's only a few people watching now, but I know that a lot of people will watch this over the next week or so. If any of you out there want to come on here and have a chat with Damian and I, please, we both extend our hand to come on here and have a chat with us. Okay, not just people I'm picking. Yes, Damian. I knew Damian would be fantastic on this. I knew Michelle would be just a perfect person to come on here. Now both of us are extending our hands to any of you that, even look, you don't have to come on and talk, jabber on like we do for the 2 hours. If you want to come on for 5-10 minutes, come on for 5-10 minutes. Seriously, it would be just so great to be able to have any of you, and I'm extending it to anyone who's watching this. Come on, have a chat with us. We won't bite, we promise. We're
not hard.
Yeah, not hard, not too hard anyway. We might have a bit of a nibble maybe, but that nothing, nice. We won't.
Next comment down, Peter's talking about it, right? If the situation calls for it and there is no other way to get around it, then look, I don't want to condone it, but I know it's fixed a few things and it has stopped a few problems in its time. Some people just need a good old smack in the mouth. Like, truthfully, there's nothing else to say about that, because some people are just so, and I don't mean in the way that we're talking about, I mean they are just pure assholes. A good old slap in the face just reconfigures all the bits in their brain and might set them back on that night's straight path. Katie, thank you. And yes, these issues are always going to be around. I mean, there's nothing that we're not going to be able to give you all the 100% answers to walk away from, say, tonight and be like, oh yeah, I'm fixed now. I mean, we can help as much as possible, but we don't have all the answers. Nobody does. It's just we can help as much as possible, and
even we might not be able to help give you the answer, but just being on here and getting your point across, putting your comment up, that, as I've said to you before, like, a problem shared is a problem. Yeah, problem shared is a problem halved. So even just by talking about your problem, you've halved it there and then. You know what I mean? And if we were to be,
he froze.
I'm there. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. You did one of these ones, and he froze.
And it was really insightful too. Dang it! But yeah, now I forget what I was talking about. But yeah, like the problem shared, the problem halved. So do that. It's I love this. Here we go.
That's what we're here for.
That's it, mate.
That's what we're here for. I like go up to more to Peter's one. No, one more. Sorry, one more.
This I must admit, this was Damian's idea, and I thank you, Damien, for doing this. But this was a great thing for us to do tonight, and it had to be done. I knew it would fire me up. Didn't know how I was going to handle it, but we've started it, we've opened it. We're not going to stop now. So, How far am I going up?
Just one, mate. Sometimes that is the only way to be. This new age stuff that they go through, all these entitled children and people who think that the world owes them something, it doesn't sit well with me. That's my personal opinion on the matter. I know that a lot of people do struggle with a lot of problems. Yes, I get that. And that's what we're here to help you all with as much as possible. But sometimes, most of the times, the way we used to deal with things, the way Peter used to deal with things, the way that my parents used to deal with things, and I'm sure, Ryan, yours too, is always a better way. It's always better. Like, I mean, I remember being, when I was younger, so when I was 18, 19 years old, you'd get in an argument with a mate. It's like, all right, let's talk it out. We'll go down to the pub, have a beer. Next minute, you're best mates again because you went down, had a chat, and worked it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and be some keyboard warrior and fight against you guys over a computer screen. You've got something you want to say to me, come, let's talk it out face to face. We'll have a beer, we'll have a drink, and we'll sort it out. Simple.
No, we haven't done yet. We haven't cheersed, mate. We haven't cheersed the whole night. Cheers, brother.
Yeah, because you wouldn't stop talking. That's the bloody problem.
I wasn't talking for you. It was you. You were talking the whole first hour, and that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. Because I honestly was just a passenger for that first hour. But
so you're going to send my paycheck in the mail or what?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, mate. I'll send it to you.
You better.
No worries. As soon as I get mine, I'll send you yours.
I can write paycheck on a piece of paper and send it to you.
I can write an IOU. I'll write you out an IOU, mate.
Don't worry, mate. You owe me just as much as I owe you.
Well, that's it, bud. And that's again, and I thank you too for coming on here and helping me do this. You know what I mean? And I feel more confident with you. Like, I mean, I felt confident doing it on my own, but I feel more confident with you now, being able to have a chat with somebody. It was one thing for me to sit here and talk to this camera and then look over and, you know, have a chat with these comments, but to be able to bounce things back and forth off you, man, I love you, dude. So thank you so much.
Mate, that's, you know, I love you too. I'll say that straight off the bat. Look, I get to a point now where I love to sit here and talk now with you. As Anne-Marie said before, Friday night therapy, dude. Even the one who's handing out the therapy needs to. Good night, Carly.
Hey, Carl.
You know. Yeah, don't worry. I will. I mean, I've got a beautiful young little. I've got a beautiful little girl on the way, and everything is going bangers for that. That's my karma, and it's coming in droves. It's coming great to me at the moment. Peter can come and have a chat to us. Why not?
We love it, Pete. Come on and have a chat, mate. That'd be awesome. Again, I'll say it again. We extend this out to anybody, any one of you. There is 130 odd people that follow this page. I extend my hand out to every single one of you. If you want to come on at any time, please feel free. Again, you don't have to stay on for the whole 2 hours, because, you know, that for some people that is very daunting. It's very hard to sit here and talk for 2 hours, but I mean, we seem to do it no problem.
Because we're the wogs.
The wogs can talk all night, mate. And funny enough, when we turn this off, we continue to talk. So
yeah, I call him on Facebook and we have another hour chat.
So yeah, guys. So anybody, any one of you that want to come on and, you know, if you want to share a story, if you want to just be a part of what we're talking about, please just, you know, come on. We'd love to have guests on, because haven't got anybody lined up for next week. So I will say this.
We do.
I am working on somebody. I am working on someone special. I'm not going to say who yet, because if they don't come on, I don't want to seem like I blew it up for nothing. But I am working on someone, and fingers crossed, this person will come on in the next few weeks. But yeah.
Shit, I completely went blank and was thinking, who the hell is he talking about? But I know who you're talking about.
I hope you know.
Yeah, but we have. Look, hopefully we've got someone lined up for next week, because Anne-Marie should be coming on.
Well, yeah, Anne-Marie, you owe me now. I'm owed. Mary Ann, I am owed. You are going to be in the middle of us next week. Okay?
Yep.
So yeah.
It'll be the Beauty and Two Beasts.
Here we go. What's this one? Pete can compete. Yeah. Come on, Pete. We'll put you right in the middle of us both, mate. We'll put you right in the middle of us. So whoever can come on, whoever wants to come on next. Hey?
We should get your mum on.
Pete asked her that before. She look, here we go. Look, you're going to go on, be a guest, Shan, and straight away. Nope.
Oh, boo.
Anyway, all right. Hang on, what's this? I'm feeling better. I shall be there. Please do. Come on. We'll make you feel good. Come on. We'll make you feel better.
No pressure though, because we don't want to cause any pressure. If you want to come on, by all means, you're more than welcome.
She'll come on.
Oh, look, your mum. I'm too shy. I don't believe that. You're a Maltese woman. You're not shy at all.
No, she's not the Maltese one, mate. She's Australian, mate. She's Australian Irish. So Irish, mate. Irish. No, come on.
Irish. Give her a couple of beers and she'll be talking for days.
Oh, hang on. Have we got is that a definite? Is that a definite?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest next week. Mary Ann will be joining us next week, aka Anne-Marie will be joining us next week.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Can't wait for that. All right, guys. We think we've talked enough now. I really hope that you guys have got a lot out of, the first half with Michelle. I mean, again, Michelle, when you watch this back tomorrow or the next couple of days, thank you so much again for what you did tonight. Really appreciate that. Didn't have to do that, but you did, and I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Damian, thanks you as well, and everyone here, thanks you. Everyone that's been on watching and that will watch, thanks you so much for your insight and. I know I got a feeling that you helped a lot of people tonight, Michelle. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And everyone for the second half with the bullying, I really hope a lot of you got a lot out of that as well. Sorry I got so fired up, but it's a real touchy subject for me. And Damian, thank you for encouraging me to talk about that tonight. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
And just to touch back on the bullying thing, there will be more about that. This was just a little
can of worms now.
But one thing I do want to do, everybody, if you've got something that you want us to really talk about,
yes,
put it up on Facebook for us, so then we can weed out the ones we want to talk about. And we'll put them in a list and we'll get through them eventually. But put it all up. Because me and Ryan collaborate through the week and we talk about what we're going to talk about. But there's no point in us talking about column A if you guys are all stuck in column B. You get me?
Perfect.
So if there's anything you want. And Shannon, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
And Peter, thank you. And I guess Ryan wants to go to bed. He looks like he's a bit tired. So I guess we're out. It's been real, guys. And next week we might keep an eye out on Facebook though. We might have something midweek for you. Say.
Yes, we're going to start. Yeah, we may possibly do something midweek for you. Just something quick, not too long, not 2 hours and 6 minutes long, but we'll save that for Friday nights.
Depends what we talk about, really.
Depends how we feel. But yeah, keep an eye out during the week. You might see the two of us on during the week, just for a quick little bit and let you know what's going on. But wait and see. So, and again, just one more quick shout out to my beautiful wife who's now asleep. I love you, sweetheart, and hope your foot gets better. And that just sucks having for Mother's Day. And then another massive shout out to my mum and all the mums out there. Have a great Mother's Day on Sunday. I hope you all have a great day. And anything else before you? I didn't get to do my sign off last week, mate. So I'm going to do my sign off tonight. So I'll let you say something before I do the sign off. Are you done?
Anyway, you can do your sign off. Yeah, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and I hope your wife has a recovery. Ryan, look after her, otherwise I'm going to have to come up there and teach you a lesson. No, but I know you'll do great, mate, and if you need any help through the week yourself, even you just want to give me a call, all right?
I will,
because
buddy.
I know how hard it can be. And peace.
Oh, hang on quickly. Gilbert, his birthday on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Gilbert. I'm going to do a bit of selfish promotion. It's actually my birthday next Wednesday. I'm 39. Don't look a day over 20. But yeah, so happy birthday, Gilbert. Hope you have a good one, champion.
Definitely.
And
with that news about you having your birthday on Wednesday, keep your eyes peeled, people. We will be on here on Wednesday.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I'll do it myself if I have to. We will be on Wednesday.
Once again, thanks very much for joining, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed tonight and got a lot out of it because, I did. I really did get a lot out of it. So, as I say, every week, can't rain all the time. See you guys.